Hello students, today we are going to start with a figure of speech of poem number 3, The Thing of Beauty. Yes, in your textbook it will be poem number 4. We'll make it as poem number 3, like you can go according to your textbook, okay, no issues. So earlier in the video you have seen the explanation of the poem Thing of Beauty. I hope you have understood it very clearly because if you understand the poem, then only you can very well identify the figure of speech that are given in the poetic lines. Okay, now let me tell you one thing, the figure of speech is also called as poetic devices. I have told you earlier also, so do not get confused if it is a poetic devices asked. Figure of speech and poetic devices is one and the same. Okay, so let's start with the figure of speech of our poem number 3, that is A Thing of Beauty. Okay, now you can refer your textbook, okay, and carefully go through line by line and make a note of the figure of speech which is explained by me. Okay, Thing of Beauty by John Keats. A thing of beauty is a joy forever. You can mark this as the very first line of your stanza of the page. Okay, what figure of speech can you identify over here? Paradox. See, why paradox? That the beautiful things do bring continuous joy. Okay, it is the statement is false that beautiful things, they do not give us, means if you look at them, the beautiful things is not giving us the joy. But the fact is that when you are very sad and your suddenly your eyesight it goes on to a beautiful thing, then it will try to erase your sad memories. So paradox, it is an outwardly false statement, but it has a hidden truth that the beautiful things do bring continuous joy. See, the beautiful things which are there, it doesn't mean that they giggle you or they tickle and they make you smile or they make you laugh. But the thing is over here that when you make a sight on it, when you see that beautiful object, it makes you feel happy. Okay, so it is a paradox, a false statement but has a hidden truth. Okay, so that is exactly paradox. Then hyperbole, it's an overstatement or an exaggeration that beautiful things bring joy forever. Okay, epigram. Also, why epigram? That it a pointed statement that beautiful things bring joy forever. There is a hidden meaning inside the sentence, that the beautiful objects or the beautiful things, it has a hidden meaning. Okay, now check the next line. It loveliness increases, it will never pass into nothingness. Yes, nothingness, never. So all these words, it convey the negative word, but the real meaning, it conveys a positive, that it will continue to increase. Okay, so it is litotes, litotes. Next, if you see antithesis, the opposite word, increases and nothingness, they are used in the same sentence for the poetic effect. So antithesis. The next one, if you see, a bower quiet for us and a sleep full of sweet dreams and health and quiet breathing. Okay, sweet dreams and health and quiet breathing. So all these ideas are arranged in ascending order. So what it will be? Guess. Climax. Yes. So climax, ideas are arranged in ascending order. Repetition, the word quite, if you see, quite, it is repeated twice. So repetition, it is repeated for the poetic effect. You need to give a clear explanation for all the figure of speech. Clear? The next is alliteration. The consonant sound B for bower and breathing is repeated. So alliteration. Then the next is oxymoron. Why oxymoron? The opposite words quiet and breathing, they are placed together to convey a beautiful meaning, saying it is peaceful. So it is oxymoron. Opposite words are there, but they are connected with a similar concept. So it is with the same concept. So it is oxymoron. Then metaphor. Metaphor, immediately the word is metaphor, which means it should click an indirect comparison. What is an indirect comparison? Between a cool shady place and peace given by a beautiful thing. Okay, refreshment given by a shady place and the piece which is given by a beautiful thing, so it is metaphor. Okay, check the next line now. Therefore, on every morrow are we wreathing a flowery band to bind us to the earth. Okay, so what figure of speech can you identify over here? Are we wreathing a flowery band? That means it is not a kind of a question. It is like asking, like the sentence is not in a proper form. It is not a proper formation of the sentence. So it is anastrophe. There is an inversion in the construction of the sentence. Therefore, on every morrow. That means, how can the sentence will start with therefore? You need to justify a sentence. You need for, and then explain a reason. So for explaining a reason, then you use therefore. So it is anastrophe. The sentence is not arranged in a proper order. Inversion in the construction of the sentence. Okay, another figure of speech, if you see, alliteration. Why alliteration? The consonant of the sound B, band, bind, is repeated for the words B sound. Metaphor. There is an indirect comparison between beautiful things and the flowery band. Okay, the point of comparison is that they are connected both to the earth. So that is metaphor. Check the new line. Of noble natures of the gloomy days. Of is repeated, so repetition. Alliteration, na, noble, nature. So n, the consonant sound n is repeated for the words noble and nature. Alliteration. Okay. Then transferred epithet, gloomy. Gloomy, it is an adjective. Okay, and it is transferred from the people to the days, which is closely connected with it. How can the days be gloomy? Okay, the gloomy can be only the people. So the gloomy, first of all, it is an adjective, therefore it is transferred epithet. It is transferred from the gloomy to people and then to the days. Gloomy means basically sad. Personification, yes, very same thing. Nature and days, they are said to have the human qualities of noble and gloomy. How can the nature be noble and how can the days be gloomy? So it is personification. Okay. Check the next line now. Of all the unhealthy and over-darkened ways made for our searching. Tautology. Unhealthy and over-darkened. These two words have the same meaning. Okay. The different words are used for the same meaning. So it is tautology. 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 Transfer epithet. The adjectives unhealthy and over-darkened, they are transferred. Who are unhealthy and over-darkened? The people lives. Okay, so the people lives, they are so unhealthy and over-darkened ways are transferred from the people lives to the ways which they are connected. Okay. Okay, then come to the next line. In spite of all, some shape of beauty moves away the pall from our dark spirits. Okay, have you understood? Okay, if you see the page, in spite of, it's a fourth last line. In spite of all, some shape of beauty moves away the pall from our dark spirits. So it is ending at the second last line. Okay, what do you mean by this? Personification, the beauty, inanimate beauty is given the human quality of removing the darkness, move away the pall from our dark spirit. Okay, which means pall means sadness. How can the beauty remove the beauty or can remove the sadness? So beauty is beauty, the inanimate thing, is given the human quality of removing the dullness or the darkness. Personification. Okay, next is antithesis, the opposite words, beauty and pall. They both are used in the same sentence for the poetic effect. So it is antithesis. They both have the opposite meanings. Pall is basically sadness. Okay. Then internal rhyme. All pall, they are used in the same sentence for the rhyming words. Okay, for the poetic effect. Transferred epithet. What is transferred epithet? The dark. Dark. What is dark over here? The people life. So the people life is so the dark, adjective dark, has been transferred from people life to our spirit, which is closely related to it. Okay. So clear so far? Okay. One is metonymy. Metonymy, some shape of beauty. It represents the beautiful things. See, nowhere in the poem the beautiful things are mentioned, but there are certain adjectives or there are certain phrases which is pointing towards the beautiful things. So therefore it is metonymy. The words some shape of beauty, it represents the beautiful thing. Okay. Now see the next line. Such the sun, the moon, trees old and young, sprouting a shady boon for simple sheep. So mark then, so it ends in the next page. Okay, for simple sheep. Okay, so what can you see over here? Old and young. These are the opposite words, so antithesis. Opposite words old and young are used in the same sentence for the poetic effect. Metaphor. The sheep is compared with humans and Jesus Christ is the shepherd. So it is metaphor. Alliteration, SH sound is there. Shady, sheep. Okay, SH sound for shady and sheep and S sound for sun and simple. So it is alliteration. Okay, come to the next line. Okay. And such are daffodils with the green world they live in. What do you mean by green world? Green world means the nature. It is not directly stating the word nature, but it is stating green world. So it is metonymy. Okay. Nowhere in the poem you will be able to see the word nature, but the green world, it is itself representing the word nature. Okay, check the next line. And clear reels that for themselves a cooling covert make. Cooling, covert, CC sound. Okay, clear, cooling, covert, alliteration. Also, TH sound for that and themselves. So, alliteration. C and TH sound. Anastrophe. There is an inversion in the constructions of the centers for the poetic effect. So, therefore, it is a anastrophe. Check the new next line. Against the hot season, the mid-forest break, rich with a sprinkling of the fair musk rose blooms. Okay, so alliteration, F sound, consonant F sound is repeated for the words forest and fair. M sound for mid and musk rose. B sound is repeated for the words break and bloom. Okay, so that's it, only alliteration. Okay, come to the next line. And such too is the grandeur of the dooms we have imagined for the mighty dead. Okay, so irony, the grandeur of the dooms, it suggests the dead. The meaning is exactly opposite. It means destruction. So it is irony. What is irony? The whatever the feeling of the sentence, it is not clearly expressed by the words. Okay, there is a different meaning over here. So it is irony. Paradox, the false statement, it has a hidden truth over there, that though the great people are dead, their glory lives are on. Okay, so it is irony and paradox. Check the third last line. And all lovely tales that we have heard or read, an endless fountain of immoral drink. Antithesis, the word heard and read are used in the same sentence for the poetic effect. Okay, tautology, endless and immortal, they both have the same meaning. Okay, they are the different words but same meaning, so it is tautology. Alliteration, have, heard, H sound, so sound of the consonant S is repeated for the words have and heard. Metaphor, an indirect comparison between lovely stories that we have heard or read is and the fountain of immortal drink. So there is a comparison between the two. What is the point of, now what is the common thing between the two is endless satisfaction and joy. Okay, the stories that we hear and read, it is indirectly compared with the fountain of immortal drink. So both are compared, but and what is the common point of comparison? That they are give us endless satisfaction and joy. Okay, come to the last line now. An endless fountain of immortal drink pouring unto us from the heavens brink. Internal rhyme, drink and brink. Okay, metonymy, heaven's brink is represented as the God's house. So from the God's house we are talking about. So it is metonymy. It is nowhere mentioned God house, but we have to understand. Therefore it is metonymy. Tautology, endless and immortal, they have the same meaning but different words are used. So it is tautology. Hyperbole, there is an overstatement that there is an endless fountain of immortal drink pouring onto us from the heaven's edge. So it is hyperbole. Clear? So I hope the poem is very clear. Before understanding the figure of speech, you need to very well understand the meaning of the poem, then only you can go through the figure of speech very well. Okay, thank you. Please make the notes of it.